for more Pro League. I am your host, Katie Bedford, joined on the desk, as always, by Nameless, Study, and Pac-Man. Excited to get things kicked off here again, now that we're done with CWL London. And I want to start and talk a little bit about yesterday, because, of course, ended with Optic's reverse sweep over Gen G. An impressive showing from them, Nameless, but it started out a little rough.
Yeah, you know, they went down 0-2, and we're like, here's this Gen G team here in the Pro League that is just dominant. And then Optic started to claw their way back into that series in that Arsenal control, where they've been pretty good on it as of late. And, you know, we see them picking up some steam later into that series. In that hard point, everybody on Optic played fantastic. And then going into that Game 5, where it was sort of neck and neck, Optic was able to close it out. We had big performances out of TJ once again, out of Dashi as well. And it was just, that's the Optic we expected to see when the match started.
Gen G, for me, have a new special. We always talked about, you know, how they always lose the first map and they win the next 3. But for now, it's just they go up 2-0 and they get reverse sweep. Out of their last 3 matches going into London until now, they've gotten 2 reverse sweeps and then a 3-0 out of Envy, between 100 Thieves and Optic Gaming. So obviously that third map, they just play it so close every single time. And when they feel like they should be winning that map and they lose it, I just feel like it's just thinking in the back of their mind, like, what if? Like, we could have closed this series out a long time ago. So if they're just able to get over that hump and that control, they should be okay.
Gen G's on the cusp of being an absolute top team in this league. They're right there, right on the edge, and they just have to figure out how to close out. Someone on the team has to step up, go above and beyond, like Ant says, and come out with those wins for this team.
Nevertheless, I mean, they're still in a great spot, right? Number 1 in the league right now, so they can just learn from this, but they have to improve over these next 2 weeks. If they're going to keep getting put in these tough spots, we have to see them start to close these games out.
That's true. It's like you've got a very good team now, but until they can get that clutch factor, they'll never be great.
I mean, we're just looking at them to win now, right? Like, we know they're a formidable opponent. They're a top threat. They can get top 6 at a tournament pretty easily, but we're looking for them to make a run to a championship. That's the next step for these guys, and, you know, until they start closing those games out, I can't believe that they can do it.
Yeah, it will certainly be tough, but let's pull up our schedule, move things along for today, starting, as you can see, Evil Geniuses and UYU. A couple great matchups for today. But again, Evil Geniuses with this new roster coming into Pro League.
This combination of these 2 teams might be one of the worst matches we can have, but it's going to be huge.
It's struggle v struggle, for sure.
Can get out of their struggle.
For EG, it's like it's huge for them in this match, because they're not going up against a top opponent, just face it. They just picked up Zaptus, so now EG has to come out and prove that they can win respawns. They were one of the worst respawn teams from London with this new roster. So going forward, they have to figure out how to win hardpoints. And then at London, they didn't win a control round.
Unbelievable.
Not a control map.
0 for 12.
They went 0 for 12 in control individual rounds. That's absurdly bad. They have to figure it out. I mean, I don't know what the hell they have to do, but
and they're also the lowest in hardpoint damage per map too. Like,
yeah, so it's like those stats make it seem like they just don't have the gun skill. But we're talking about players like Apathy and Attach. Like, these are world champions. We know they have the talent. They just obviously they didn't have the time to figure out the teamwork. It's got to be it. To not be able to win a control round throughout an entire event is absurd.
I mean, we'll learn a lot about them in this match versus UYU, right? Like, yesterday we saw UYU play FaZe. They got destroyed. It was, you know, there's no excuses for that. And it was a pretty easy match for FaZe. And, you know, Evil Geniuses, they had a pretty tough group. So maybe we can, you know, give them some slack a little bit, right? Like
one round.
I know that's tough for control, but they did have a very tough group, and there are some story players on here. But we'll learn a lot about this Evil Geniuses team up against UYU right now, seeing how they perform.
They only win. They have 2 wins in the league. They won a match in February versus Reciprocity, and then they beat Envy in March. So now we're in May. Hopefully they can go on to win.
Mixed up roster. We can, you know, perhaps see.
Hopefully.
A couple more wins from them, but let's focus. Let's focus too a little bit on UYU again. Taking a loss yesterday, and not a great S&D record either.
No, yeah, 1-6 in start of CWL, and it's going to be very tough to win games when you're not a good respawn team as well, and you're also 1-6 in Search and Destroy. So I think picking up Zaptius is maybe, you know, they're trying to remedy that a little bit, but it didn't work yesterday at all. They got absolutely destroyed by FaZe and Search and Destroy. So, you know, it's just a lot of things going on for these guys. Confidence, teamwork. They have to start from the ground up. These guys are like, what, 3 steps behind most of the teams in the Pro League, so they definitely need to catch up, but that's what these 2 weeks are for.
They're just lacking in star power. I think when we first talked about this team, it was like Mayhem and Methods. We used to talk about it, like those guys would duo up and have those performances for the team that would push them over the edge, but we just haven't seen that combination.
They're not going to keep that up, though. Like, Mayhem and Methods aren't players who are just going to be able to keep that up. That's why you pick up Royalty, right? Like, you get him, and you hope he turns into the star on your team, but he was like the worst Slayer on their team at London. So, I mean, I think it's just confidence issues right now for a lot of these guys individually, and it's like reflecting in their team play.
Study, if you're ever in a situation like that, when you have a team that's maybe lacking, to Nameless's point, confidence, how do you work through something like that? How do you kind of get a better mindset?
Well, it depends on how many events you go through. If they've been through 3 events so far, and it's just like don't really see any improvement. You made a couple roster changes, bringing your sub in, and things are just not working. At this point, you have these 2 weeks here. I don't know if there's another roster period after that, but if the things are just not clicking within the team and you've spent at least 6 months together, you need to make a change, plain and simple.
Yeah, well, we will see. Again, maybe they can get a win here against Evil Geniuses. We are about to find out because our first match of the day is ready to go with our casters Miles and Momo.
Thank you very much, guys. It is a fun one today. Again, 2 squads that have made changes. London wasn't terribly kind to either of them, but now we're here in Columbus in the Emoji Studios. Maybe that sort of sweet Ohioan air will be a little better to them. I don't know. It's all learnings from here on out.
The straws there. The sweet Ohioan air.
I don't know how you say it.
Not something that, I go back to my family and go, do you know what? I do miss that sweet Ohioan air. However, EG versus UYU, frequency to start and finish this series, but are we going to see that triple Arsenal in the middle? Interesting. Obviously, kind of breakdown. You saw, obviously, or heard the desk talk about the control and the lack of control, shall we say, in map 3 from the likes of both teams more than likely, but EG struggle after struggle. And again, is this something that you kind of just put everything behind you? You say this is our first game, we're going in hard, we've got a team that we can beat, we know we can beat, and just stay confident? Or is this just kind of a bad vibe kind of thing?
I'm not sure it's going to be bad vibes. For me, it feels like EG, this is a completely brand new roster, and London was like a very, very challenging trial by fire for them. At this point now, because Exotic and Attached are the only original members of that roster in terms of like the change made. So that's a major change. That's the core gone from that squad. So the only way is up for them right now. 2-9 in the league so far, it's not good. They're like 32% map win. 0-12 in control rounds is terrible. But look, it can only get better from here on out. The man on your screen there, Exotic, has had a great run of things in the competition so far. In all the Pro League, actually, he's been a great player, standout, extremely solid in the respawns, but we haven't really seen too much of them since the change. UYU, though, again, like the Zaptors coming in, is this going to make a big difference for that squad? We saw yesterday they didn't have a great run of things against FaZe.
Tough game,
FaZe are so strong, though. That's a really, really exciting team to watch. Can Zaptius? It's first time saying it.
I'll tell you what, it is refreshing, and we go back to the start of the season, when we add players like Parzelian, who is kind of like a household name. We hear and see him week in, week out, but adding players to a roster, kind of fresh blood, especially ones that are maybe lesser known, if you like. Everyone knows when Celium, for example, came into the pro scene, or Dashi. They knew those names before they got in, but maybe given a little bit of a chance and a lot to prove here. UYU going into map number 1. It's going to be frequency hardpoint.
First frequency. The other one's the tail end. It's an Arsenal sandwich. 2 slices of frequency to begin and end it. Zaptius, actually, the last time we saw him in placements 3rd as part of that Cyclone roster at Fort Worth in the Open. So he's nothing to be sneezed at, but now he's in the Pro League.
And that's the reason why he's here, right? You've got to make that impression to kind of get the eye of a pro team, an organization, to go, hang on a second, this guy, he's in the open bracket. We can snatch him up and really kind of flourish with him. So Zaptius, we will be keeping an eye on him. Of course, though, we've got to keep an eye on all 10 players straight away. It's the man himself finding a kill before going down. And EG will be battling hard fought for this one. It looks like they're going to come out on top. Team kill does come on to Attach, but doesn't look like it'll harm them too much, judging by that mini-map. And a good gauge for, the first hard point is, of course, look at that mini-map, and you see they're flooded with Evil Geniuses here. Apathy finding a double, and Phantoms finds one more.
Yeah, we see this opening start. Exotic may put the barrel of that Sorg straight into the back end of Phantoms there. We will be seeing EG with a solid hold to start this one off. And again, the body's on point. The body's on view. They've been relentless the opening 30 seconds. I think all 5 members are on that one. And again, just trading out back and forth. No one from UYU able to really make that happen. And once again, no one from UYU able to get much done as they're just meeting EG head on here. We are going to see the rotations go through. Number 3 in the back end has got the back locked and loaded. That's going to be Parzeli and that KN working out. And another team kill comes through. Attach does find one in the back there as Royalty. He helps out, hold down the back end. And now we've got a bit of a change here. Control will be going the way of UYU, but the back spawns certainly all blue right now.
Yeah, for me, that's a big win there for EG. And ironically, 3 of them do go down, but the actual rotation itself was very strong from EG. They got into the back. They just weren't able to hold it here. And credit to UYU for kind of sniffing that one out and taking them apart piece by piece. Grenade's going to be put in the top pocket of methods. Attach is the one to do that. But I want to go back to what you were saying earlier. A lot of team kills going down. Maybe a bit of miscommunication between the squad already. I think we've had 3 come through in only 2 hard points. However, they are on top. They are looking strong. Apps now with that Sorg again, 3 to his name in a short space of time, combined with Phantoms, making a nice addition here. And I'll tell you what, you look at that EG roster, and it is like a bit of a fresh breath.
It really is, yeah. I mean, Phantoms being the sort of the stick out there is not someone you think of when you put next to names like Apathy or JCap Attach. But nonetheless, he's finding himself here in this matchup. 5 kills to his name, 31 seconds of hardpoint time, and again, helping tremendously to that lead that Evil Geniuses have managed to accumulate over the first 2 hardpoints. And now we go back. The third is underway. JCap is going to get the first taste of it. Apathy battling for control there of U. That's going to go down, and here comes the flood from UYU, straight into the guns of everyone on EG, actually. Phantoms, he's really running to KN now. For the members of EG, he's getting the kills on the back end as well. Attach holding down the front. And a solid bit of work now from Evil Geniuses. Not what we've seen from them. They've had their struggles in hardpoint. They have had their struggles across the board, but this is looking up. Again, they're playing this one quite smart. They're playing quite solid. They've had rotations, and they're winning those kills, and they're really watching the right angles. And as long as they can win those gunfights, I mean, the only way is up for EG right now, and this is exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to, with this roster, kind of seeing the combination of Attach and App, you know, with those Sorgs and kind of what they can do. And so far, so good in this map, but honestly, that's something to keep an eye out if you're maybe new to some of the names of the roster itself, or even Call of Duty Esports. Keep an eye out for those two combined. And of course, we've seen success previously between the two that is JCap and Attach. And honestly, this mix of 5 may go a little under the radar. I think a lot of people will put these guys down, but a lot of growing, a lot of success maybe ahead, but who knows? These guys trying to find that perfect recipe. 55 seconds left on the hardpoint, and so far so good here for Evil Geniuses. JCap, 4-kill streak, will find himself a lightning strike for his troubles as well, but again, we pointed it out before, yourself included, Miles. Phantoms, that player that is sticking out at the moment. 7-2 here, currently on a 2 streak.
Yeah, loving his work so far. Trying to lock down the bottom, can't get it done. Passes on point. Again, good contest there. The flood was on, the break was good for UYU, but they couldn't quite close out. Now, again, in the back and forth, they're going to get the final tail end of 30 seconds here on the contest. Can they get these players of EG off point? JCap, still good. Still fighting for his life. 8-6 right now. Still has the lightning strike to work with. He did get dropped, so no Hellstorm quite there on the brink, but he will be alive and kick in. Attack.
Okay, Dylan.
He finds the kneecaps of Methods there as he makes his way to the next point. War Machine's up, gearing to go. Going to buy a bit of time as we flip over to the next hard point in 5 seconds. Look, he's not going to get time out of this, but is this a little early to just buy control? He's completely alone. And that is another bit of friendly fire. Sadly there for Attach. Nonetheless, 125, we have got Evil Geniuses in control, but that War Machine's done, and all he managed to do is find a teammate and a little bit of damage.
Yeah.
He didn't really slow them down. Can the rest of EG come in down and capitalize on that position? A
lot of people may see it as wasted. I think what really the positive to kind of take from it was his teammates were picking up the kills outside of the hard point. You know, he may have been challenged on a different occasion, and was it the right call? We'll have to wait and see for that one. One thing that I will say is it's 41 to 134, nearly a 100-point lead. However, UYU, after the first rotation, they're looking vulnerable. They're looking a weaker side, but of course we've seen crazy comebacks in hardpoint. 25 seconds still to go, and the shot punch does come in from Royalty there. It does connect as 3-4 for EG. And roles reverse. You know, we go back to the first rotation where EG were in control. UYU set up for hardpoint number 2, of course, down by Orange. Looks like EG have taken that step and, you know, given up that scrap time, taking a step back, realize that they are not 100, but, you know, still a very large amount in front here. And they can do this. They have this leeway.
Yeah, they have a lot of leeway. And again, as we go to the second rotation now, we have got EG with those back spawns. Only 3 members of UYU in position to try to defend this front hardpoint. Royalty with Slam at hand. He's going to be very helpful if he wants to use that to open up the defense. He's going to find 4, including a teammate. Unfortunately, nonetheless, they're going to get the time out of this one. No one's on the hardpoint just yet. EG have spawned way out. Good bit of time now, a solid 20 seconds at least, if they can hold on to the break that's coming through mid, but Apathy slams up for him as well. Can't get it done. Paz is going to hold the line. The ICR Parzelian doing big work, still good. Finds the second, the third's there. A little too eager, a little too hungry, and he's going to get dropped. But the time is still going the way of UYU, off the back of that big slam from Royalty.
I want to talk about that slam. What do you look for in a specialist? You want to make sure that it is utilized, it is picking up kills, but to pick up a large amount of kills combined with a spawn of a hard point with 40 seconds left, that's like a triple threat right there. That's exactly what you want to see. And what that's done is it's enabled them to get all of that first hard point and then flip those spawns straight away and collect everything from Orange as well. Now, the trouble is they're still behind. They had a very slow start. Can they mount that comeback? EG still in the lead, still in control, but we were talking 100-point leads. Now we're talking 20.
Yeah, that's just dwindled away. I mean, it's fallen ashes, if you will, in the fires of JCap's lightning strike, trying to get back onto the point. 45 seconds here on the next hard point. Phantom's trying to find an opening here. Fire break at the ready, as we all see that Purifier. It was wonderful yesterday. Method's now answering back with the lightning strike of his own, and here comes the push from UYU. The break's on, and here they go, straight on through, flooding it. Parzelian's going to put Attach on his back as he makes his way forward. Apathy, quick trade out, and this has been golden from UYU. They've come straight on through, and Zaptius, he's ready to rock and roll with that Tempest as well. EG still spawning at the back, though. Can they find something here?
Yeah, I want to talk about Zaptius. Obviously, a bit of a slow start here, 9 and 16. The rest of his team actually putting in a bit of a shift. Only player not to be positive royalty, but he's 16 and 17. So I'm actually looking at Zaptius to step it up. You know, he's 9 and 17. Hopefully, with that Tempest, it can put him in a good spot. Talking to the Tempest, he's out and he's already tagging players. Finds one. Oh, I thought it was going to tag to the second there, but he didn't connect here. He's looked to back off. Now sliding on in, only going to find the one again. I've got to say that's a bit of a disappointing Tempest there.
I mean, look, he finds one, can't get any more out of it. Methods gets the contest, stays on point. Lovely kill there. Putting the Maddox to work at range, and here we go. Attach is going to be up next. There's another player not too far from the hard point. This is good work from Methods. That's 3 clean back-to-back. That was his 4th in a row. And that's solid hard point time right now for UYU. The lead is about to change hands right now. No one from EG anywhere nearby. That great frag grenade is going to slow him down. Methods is still 270 away from Streak. Zaptius on the back end. He's going to hold down the back. He does get pressured. We still have control. Methods is still good. He's still going. 5 kills in a row. The lead is so close to changing right now, and UYU, I mean, they're back in this. EG have just let this slip.
You can see Methods, he's playing so hard for these streaks, and he's actually going to find himself so close. 170 away, pre-fire comes in, it's going to be a double, and he's not going to get it. Nicely shut down by EG, and again, that 100-point lead gone. Deleted, still at around 20 points or less here now, and we are seeing the comeback of UYU. We saw the Purifier on this map yesterday. The effect it can have, combined with Attack 5, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be hot, and it's going to be attached to fall to that one. Lead change potential? I think so. 173 now to UYU as EG probably looking at each other at this point and thinking, what the hell went wrong?
Yeah, there's not a lot they can do when you just get staring down the barrel of that Purifier. You're going to run on through. Even Flak Jacket still, it'll buy you a 1 or 2 seconds advantage, but still, the rate of fire is so strong from the Purifier. And here we go. EG, the break's good. UYU take the lead, but we do now have Phantoms on point. Purifier for his own. Here it comes. It's going to be a quick change of hands as things are certainly getting a bit naughty. Up over the top's going to find royalty. This is Purifier at his finest. You hold down the lane. You don't let anyone through. He's not doing anything wrong here. It's only right. And with that, the lightning strike rewarded. The final 10 seconds here for EG. They will go that way. And they have got set up for next. So this is solid work from Evil Geniuses. They're going to get a 20 to 15 out of this one if they can hold top and if they can make sure that no one makes their way through pipes.
Oh my goodness, it's a close game for sure. Back to that 20-point lead though for EG. Streaks for Phantoms, 21 and 15. Royalty with that double. Big kills coming in here, but a lot of time to play with. Despawn so crucial, and a cluster grenade. You may as well have eaten that yourself here. My goodness, not what you want to see, but UYU now on the point. A cluster grenade going in the shoe of JCap here. Now we're going to see those Hellstorm Lightning Strike combinations coming through. Mayhem will go to the back, but he will be taken down. And EG getting in behind. This is the pinch that they need to see. 2 from the front, 2 from the back. Will it come through? Apathy finds one. Zaptius as he finds the double 2 deny, and he stays alive for a second more. JCap, though, denies that. And EG, they're in control of the hard point. There's still 20 seconds left. They can't end it here, though. They must rotate.
I mean, they lost every single opening gunfight, at the start of that hard point, and if not for Phantom's heroics with the Hellstorm, they don't get any of that time. And here we go. JCap making his way forward. Royalty's going to have next. And you can see the play happening now as Apathy tries to make his way onto the point. Again, all over it. Another team kill sadly comes through for Evil Geniuses. 20 now in the lead over UYU. We're reaching the business end of this game, the final moments. You see we do have the spawns at the back end for UYU. Phantoms gets dropped. Royalty now flooding straight on through to the hard point. Hicks the outside attack that's happening for EG as they try to make their way in. Attach is going to get dropped. And here we go. UYU with a solid chance to make something happen here. As long as they can get those guns up top, keep them pushed back on the outside of the map. This is looking very solid for a good chunk of time. Can they hold on, though? What can EVG do here to break on through to find some hardpoint time?
Well, EG, they're looking to go through the back here, and there's plenty of time still to play for. Contests will go down, and more than likely, we will see a rotation. The contest more than likely will come in. However, enough time here. Potentially, no more. They have to rotate. The contest will come through. It will be finished potentially down low. And again, fighting tooth and nail, but the kill feed is blue. EG are in the lead. It's by about 20 seconds, maybe 25 by the end of this one. But actually, look at the rotation. That's EG's 2. It's theirs to lose right now.
Oh, and Methods Mayhem, sorry, he was the one who spawns out, a slight split. He does manage to stay alive. The brakes are on now from UYU. Here we go, Methods is in up top. JCap's up next, shots are through. Can't quite finish the kill. Parzelian comes up big. Zaptius finds a second. Phantom's up top. He's gone down now as well. The clock is ticking. 2:46 for EG. They need to get on the point fast. UYU can win it here. They've got to keep winning these engagements. This is EG's game to lose. Is it over yet? Can they hold?
Well, a 100-point lead potentially thrown away here. UYU fighting tooth and nail. Royalty with a double, but one's onto Zaptius. He falls down as well. Contest coming in. 30 seconds still to play for here. One wave would mean that EG take it, but Mayhem out of nowhere, living up to his name, and my goodness, what has he just done? He can end it right here. Attaching it. Apathy find 2 as well. Back and forth. No one's on the hard point. 2:45 to 2:49. But it's Attach and App that combine at the end with those Sorgs. Mayhem nearly just saved the day for UYU. It was a close-fought game, but it's a game EG were nearly 100 points in the lead. Whew. Take a deep breath out of that one.
What a comeback that would have been.
After that one. Not out of it. My goodness.
What a comeback that would have been. Mad props to UYU for fighting back into that one, but the biggest question comes down to EG then. They let a very considerable lead slip.
Yeah.
A couple of mistakes here and there that were capitalized upon in a massive way. A couple huge individual gunfights from UYU, great rotations, some solid specialist usage from both.
Yeah.
Honestly, that comes down to a matter of seconds. Let's have a quick look at the final moments of this game, just in case you missed it, you bloody animals. Here we go. Look at that scoreboard, 230, 240. That's going to get to 249 and stop dead.
Interestingly enough as well, from the Slane side of things here, UYU were right up there with the big part of that was Methods. But this break here is very kind of ticky-tacky back and forth. Everyone down to, what, 10, 15 HP if you like, and then regenning. A team kill comes through onto Methods from Pars, and then the kill feed is so back and forth. But you look at that minimap and you think, hang on, this is EG's to kind of break on through. They've got control of top middle. They're pushing down low. But it's a really hot, strong hold, and eventually, EG, it looks like it's theirs. Royalty actually takes down Zaptius again for the second team kill of this hard point. And then out of nowhere, this is it. Mayhem finds one. Quick regen. Finds that second, but the kind of collateral, if you like, that comes through. That was at 249. He loses those gunfights, and they lose the game, and now you start to think, hang on a second, this is UYU's. They surely can't lose this, but the Sorgs combine and EG come out on top.
What a final exciting moment to those games. Either way, friends, before the start of the matchup, Jess had a quick catch-up with Exotic from Team Evil Geniuses. Jess, what did he say?
Thanks, Miles. Well, Exotic said that he knows the position, rather, that EG are in right now. He said that coming into London, there were a few issues, namely surrounding the fact that they recently had some roster changes, hadn't quite had a chance to settle into those, so that transition is going a lot more smoothly. And he said that right now they're kind of focusing on their control, and going forward, they are a lot more hopeful. Then over on the side of UYU, I did catch up with Royalty, and it's one of those situations where he had some really similar things to say, being as he, of course, is one of the newer players on the squad. And again, he knows the position that they're in. Their backs are against the wall, and he said that was the time to play with some urgency. And he also said they're not really sweating the loss yesterday, knowing that they're just going to get better as the week goes on. They are a newer squad, so we'll see how the rest of the series goes. Miles and Momo, back over to you guys.
Jess, again, urgency, I think, was the word to be used for the final moments of that hard point as well. And I think it's true to be said that UYU, both UYU and EG, are new rosters, essentially. There's so many changes made, and they're both learning a lot here. And it's tricky, though, because we're 7 weeks into the Pro League, and you've had to make quite a dramatic change, especially for Evil Geniuses, and a dramatic change was needed sitting at 2-9. But you've got a lot of catch-up to play against a lot of very, very strong teams right now, and that's a bit of an interesting situation for them to be in. I'm not sure if they do quite have the metal to bounce back in time for playoffs, but crazier things have happened. E.g. that roster again. World War II, not great for them. Win champs. Go figure.
I mean, crazy things can always happen in Call of Duty esports. We all know that. I think, being just honest here, this is not a matchup that you guys kind of set in your calendar that you go, this is the one of the week that I want to watch for. But it might be the one that makes the difference between two of these teams. Whoever comes out on top, there has to be a victor. We all know that. But it could be the catalyst for something bigger, to start something rolling. If EG come out now, they win a 4-point hard point, maybe a 1-round S&D or whatever, they get this fire, or it gets pushed to a game 5, a reverse sweep happens, who knows? But it might just ignite something in that team to go on and cause up some problems for the others. However, you saw the map layout. We've got a triple dose of Arsenal coming up here for some search and destroy, control, and hardpoint. We may end it on this map, but EG, it was a close-fought game. After like the first 2 minutes of that, I thought it was just going to be, you know, a complete whitewash, a one-sided affair, if you like. But search and destroy is upon us, and we've got the snipers already. Pars missed there by a whisker, and he might actually get pushed a little too fast for him to deal with, and that's going to be none other than Apathy.
Apathy, just those moments where you put your scope down and they manage to clean one through. Push towards B, now it goes. The bomb's rotated fast. Phantoms is the only player there. He hasn't actually seen anyone yet. Spider senses tingling, so you can see something happening there. And now the shot's coming through. Attach is going to quickly come in and reinforce. Paladin of his own. See if he can't find a shot. This would be ideal. Body just through the rock there. Not able to get it done. Almost finds it on the hop. Attach, he's hungry for more. He finds the tippity top of royalty. Zaptius is up next. Oh, he found it!
Goodness.
No way!
Oh.
He found it. It's all down to methods. EG, what a round. Oh, they're going to get the fuse as well. Attach. 2 snipes. I know Paradox.
I was about to say, Paradox is in the back kicking down half the studio. I missed it. We forgive you. It's a 5-0.
Dude, as if he's going to hit that.
Like, behind the bomb, it was what? Kind of nose and above that was showing. Incredible stuff, but if you're an observer out there looking for a job, I'm just kidding, Paradox.
Whoa, we've all been there, man.
But it's actually the double. Beautiful stuff. 5 alive for EG. And a nice round.
Yeah, an incredible round. Actually, to be honest, a fantastic round. From the opening kill from Apathy, the hyper-aggression from, you know, as they pushed in towards B. They overextend, they catch the sniper of Parzelian's napping. Again, that might just be great intel. They know that Pars likes to snipe, go quite deep. He doesn't move forward.
Oh, at least we see it now.
Here we go. Wonderful shots while getting tagged. 6 HP.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard to swallow. You're watching that back as the best player on UYU. You're like, God damn. I mean, it didn't really make a difference. You know, it wasn't like it was a 1v1. But EG lead the S&D, and it all started from Apathy. Very aggressive onto A on the defense, and Parzelian spotted 2.
Here comes the play.
This is so fast again from EG.
EG, they're all in on A. They're not letting anyone on UYU even think. Mayhem does get the first blood, though. Apathy trades out quickly with a nice nade there onto Zaptius. And there we go. Pars is in. Pistols are up. He's going to find Exotic. The shot comes through. That Strife still getting the job done up close. Can he find any more? The bomb managed to retreat, though. Oh, not quite as strong as we saw attached in that last round, as now it's a 3v3. The bomb, the VIP has managed to make its way out. Phantoms is going to hold them in position for the time being, and Abash is going to try and they're sticking it out. They're keeping the play towards A. He's going to hit the vents.
Yeah, it was interesting how they didn't check the vents previously. Mayhem taking down Phantoms, and it's going to be a quick kill for Royalty. Cap left all alone, does find 2 of the 3, but Methods finalizes that round as well. Yeah, just kind of go back to what I said. EG, very fast, very aggressive. I love the play, but they just didn't check vents. They just didn't anticipate it. Pistol Pars out here, trying to take down all 3 of them behind the bomb site, bless him, and he really couldn't do much more, but we do see things level up here. Both defensive wins, one more convincing than the other.
Yeah. Interesting seeing this aggression from EG, as you said. In that first defensive round, they overshoot A. They hit the snipes at the back. Same again on offense. They're doing it again. Look how aggressive EG are. They've overshot through A. Phantom's the only one who holds back. That ICR slow and steady. And here they come. UYU are in. They're hungry, but Attach is here as well. And the rest of EG, the reinforcements arrived. Attach made a tough stuff. Isn't going to die to the cluster. He's going to have to back on up. No one dead just yet. Well, actually, no. That looks like Phantoms. He dropped out in the early engagements, and now we have a setup from UYU. Please do it, Attach. To just do it. Still was a cluster to work with in that situation as well. That could be great. But the clock's ticking. 27 seconds.
Oof! Skimmed the air of Royalty, but he's going to take down Mayhem. Methods will go down. Attach actually being a very influential player here, and nearly finds the second with the pistol, but it looks like the teammate potentially from EG could be the ones to clean it up. The defuse is already going down, and Attach. Whew, these rounds are starting to add up, and smiles all around, it looks like. A little bit of a smirk, should I say, rather than a smile. EG, not home and dry just yet. A long way to go.
So it's flashy plays that lets the rest of EG make their way through elevator, and they find 1 or 2 kills here, and they push on through elevators on the other side. They win the actual fight for the bomb site just above. But it's little things like this, like Attach just peeking around, dealing the damage. Everyone's worried about that. They're worried about the nades going off, and it's in that chaos, it's in that absolute maelstrom that you do see EG come out on top. So they kept cool, they kept the composure, despite the fact they did lose a player early on. The first blood went the way of UYU. Get the bomb down, get set up, they don't get anything out of it. To the 4th round we go now. Snipes up for Pars. Is he going to hit anything this time? No, sadly not yet. Still sticking it out.
Rocking that frosty camo.
Love it.
Nice cold, baby. Trying to find a couple, and Zaptius has just done that. He's found him pushing on to B, and the communication will be flowing now, and you see all those red arrows rotating. EG kind of had this S&D mentality where I say wolfpacking, but they're doing it so fast. It's the speed that's really impressing me more than anything. And again, that's that kind of attach and apathy combo on the offense, and then on the defense, adapting very well. But can another defensive win come through? Pazelian will miss with that sniper. Does have an ICR in his back pocket. Connects with one. Exotic on the bomb, but Pars is weak. Gonna have to back on down. EG still with the advantage.
They're still on the point. 30 seconds now. Shots through. Pars is down. Make their way onto the site. Still pushing. Still fighting. Guns are up. Pat goes through. Gets dropped. The numbers are dwindling. Exotic's got to back on up. Royalty's there. Good shots. He's now the last player. And JCap up top with the ICR. So watching that ammo count get quite low, and I'm like, man, as soon as he stops firing that ICR, as soon as he runs out, Exotic's going to get pressured on that bomb site. He manages to keep it going, though. And EG find themselves another one.
I really do feel like this is a roster where someone like Phantoms can really make a name for themselves. Obviously, we've heard about him. We know of him. We are watching him live right now in the Pro League. But I feel like he's a name which, it's not in the same category as your attach, your apathy, your JCap, and for a right reason. But I really feel he's kind of surrounded himself with fantastic players, including Exotic as well. But he's such a talent which I think he's kind of gone unnoticed for a little bit. So really keep your eye out for Phantoms. Currently 2-2, but Search and Destroy seeming a little stronger for EG. But then again, they started strong on the hard point.
They let it slip. Can they let this one slip as well? UYU, they seem late bloomers. Apps backing up, super aggressive play here from UYU. Attach trying to find a quick scope right through the glass. I mean, it's possible. It's ambitious. Bomb's going to be going down towards A now, and that's great. Method's going to find that kill on JCap. Can we find anything from Attach? He peeks the snipe. Oh, wow, on the jump. This is a great way to get these players off the statue, and it's not going to happen now. The pressure's on. The bomb down, they're going to have to hit the defuse quickly. You can see the play in the lobby starting to develop, and they've managed to take the lobby back. Mayhem, though, hit the flank. Phantoms trying to make this way forward. The numbers are going the way of UYU. Phantoms ain't afraid of no ghost as Mayhem cuts him down.
Nicely done. Another round on the board there, and one of those rounds where you just kind of feel you need it. You don't want to start to let the lead slip and get out of control. I think it was Attached at the back. It might have been someone else who does connect with one of the snipes, but unfortunately doesn't take him down. Zaptius, of course, newest addition to UYU. And the Pro League and everything else in between here.
It's not bad showing for his first week, though. See if he can't keep it up.
Took competition too yesterday with FaZe and...
Hey man, that's all learnings.
Oh, absolutely.
It's all learnings.
Sometimes you need to be chucked in at the deep end, right?
Starting this one off with a nice kill there. JCap's going to clean up Royalty. Cap's going to back on up. Now we're going to have the play developing towards B. Bomb's going to make its way over there a little slower. With that life advantage, though, we can see EG make the play they want as opposed to the play that they've got to in the situation they have, and this has not worked out. Great trades. Attach trying to fight back. Does get taken care of there by Methods. That's a great shot. Now it's 3v2. JCap and Exotic, the last players left alive, and maybe they should have actually stuck to the player A. They were like, nah, dude, B's clear. It's all good. It is not good. It is the opposite of good. It is full of death. The night is dark and full of terrors. Poor Game of Thrones. Here we go. Bomb's going to be going down at A. No one from UYU is going to react.
Is the bomb going down? That's the question.
I hope so.
Exotic's pushing forward. He's the one with the bomb. He's looking for a kill before he puts the bomb down, and time's starting to dwindle. I think basically UYU are saying, you know what? We'll let the bomb go down. We'll play a 2v3 retake. And with the time so far gone now, I'd expect someone to start pushing here. EG will get that bomb down a little later than we expected, but interesting to see how Cap and Exotic play this one. They haven't got the numbers. They're expecting a flank. Doesn't look like they're getting one. Number 9, Exotic pushing through the middle, maybe looking to sneak on through lobby, or maybe even go through vent the long way.
Oh, but it's already happening.
On the defuse.
It's already happening. Timing, 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 and that's the problem. numbers are one thing, but that site is so open.
Yeah.
But the mere fact that they have like 3 players up, EG just get embarrassed there. There's nothing they can do. They've got to make that play a lot faster. And admittedly, Exotic, if he gets there any second, maybe half a second earlier, he could possibly see the defuse happen. But smart play there from UYU to get the defuse through. And it was the blunder at that bomb site. That's really where the map fell apart for me, because we had EG with a solid start. They make their way across and they just get destroyed in the gunfights there. And Mayhem and Methods doing lovely work with the ICRs, cutting down. And with that, we're all tied up 3-3.
Well, as we are all tied up, heading into round number 7 here. Right back in it, UYU looking for the first map of the series. If you just joined us, we of course lost the hard point, but it was a close one. A big comeback did happen, and UYU looking to make that same comeback now as they find themselves level with 60 seconds left. A slower round here for UYU. You see 3 in the middle, then 1 split either side, almost watching that flank, but edging towards B, potentially, maybe pushing straight through lobby. Apathy's going to be the first to see it. The gun has been poked out. Mayhem spotted.
Back towards A we go. Into the jaws of Attach. He hasn't seen anything yet. They're going to encroach slowly on him. There we go. The shots are through. Attach. Time to do something special. Big shot comes through. Nades are up as well. I mean, this is going to help buy him time. Trophy's going to say Nave. Can he find another quick scope? It would be great. 2 bodies. Nothing, though. Strife's out. It's going to be a trade. And it is just enough time for the rest of EG to get here. The nades are through. Apathy just finding Zaptius. And now the trades. And they're going all the way of EG. There's only 1 member left of the event. So that's going to be Royalty. It's a 1v3. 18 seconds left. He doesn't have the bomb. And he doesn't have any teammates. And now he's about to find Exotic in a 1v1. I mean, it's just all for naught at this point. Great job from EG. Attach holds on his own. 2 body shots. Great bit of work there from EG.
Yeah, Exotic won that 1v1, and credit to him, it was probably harder than it should have been. When App kind of slid into the vent, I was expecting Exotic just to watch that vent, and he kind of did some circles in the middle, then watched it, and he dropped down, and that could have got out of hand. It really could have, but EG closed things out. Strong, strong team here in round number 7, as the rounds that they've won, some of them have been very convincing. You know, we saw the first one, which was complete wipeout of 5-0, but round number 7, it looks like they're heading back to B. A strong defense over by A at UYU's expense. Potentially JCap looking for that first blood. Spotted Royalty. Preemptive fire for the 2nd and 3rd time there, but the action's going to be going down by B.
This is very typical of the rounds we've been seeing so far in the search. Hyper aggression towards A. Cap trying to bait out the plays, and now we're going to see the same thing again towards the B site. But look at this, EG, they're going to call it, they're going to chalk it towards A, and no one's going to be able to catch them on the rotate through labs. There's no guns up there, but they are going to be sitting here in lobby. Attach is going to be poking through. Mayhem's going to have to return that one. And you see the bomb now making its way forward. 3 players going to be backing it up. Apps hitting the vent. But Royalty watching it. They're not going to fail again. Oh, timing is terrible there. As Royalty's going to be dropped, that's the first blood, and this is an absolute catastrophe right now. EG have just flooded the site. Big kills, Pars up top. Can't get any more done. Methods just a little too late to the party. The bomb's up, 1v3. They don't know where he is, though. The numbers are the only advantage they've really got right now. And now the advantage for Methods is gone. He has to win an incredibly challenging 1v3, and that is that.
Nice round for EG, and again, that kind of 1st and 2nd blood that came through, you saw that it was almost the trophy system going down, and it all started to fall apart from here. It was Exotic to find the 2. This was the first, but again, the bait and switch from the teammates. The kill feed says one thing, but really is that kind of team effort pushing forward, and Exotic rewarded with some of the points, but EG will be rewarded with the round win. Now just looking for 1 more here, EG. Then they're going into a control. Of course, a game mode which highlight by the desk. An absolute travesty at London. But there's been time between London and now. Let's see, of course, what they've been working on. They're 2-0 up potentially after this round. Let's not write UYU out of it just yet. 3 rounds and they take the map. Oh, Exotic finds one off screen. Apathy finds another. 5v3, 5-2-3. As we do see EG has to lose 1 player. Royalty sliding in from behind. Suddenly it's even Stevens.
Even Stevens indeed. Pars gets taken out there early on, yet to find the snipe in the search yet. Phantom's backing up. He's got a player not too far away from Methods. If he times this right. Oh, he's been gifted. He can't get it done though. As he's going to be dropped 3v2. Back over to Attach, watching the cuts through, but it's straight onto B. Now we saw heroics in the very first round with that snipe. Can we find any more for Attach? The bombs actually, what a beeline that was. They know they got spotted, so now they've rotated around and they're going to hit the back. JCap, he's going to make the read. Is he going to get there in time? Or are they going to get all over the site if he finds this one? I think they might have just slipped through. He hasn't seen anyone just yet, but they know they're on the bomb. And here it comes. The guns are up. He's going to get some friendly fire through. The trays are there, and oh my, attach. Puts one in the back of JCap. And the sneakiest plays from UYU as they slither onto that site unnoticed.
3v5 as well. A round that really should have just been shut down, but the first 2 kills coming in for EG, they were answered by UYU. 2 individual 1v1s that they simply won, and it was a must-win situation. Credit to them for that. And now they find themselves in a much better position. One more round, and we're going to that all-important round 11. Exotic, 8 kills to his name. Attach 9. On the flip side of things, though, for UYU, you got Mayhem and Methods on 8. Parzelian looking for just number 3. He's wary of that sniper. No one wants to be the first to die in a round 10 of an important search and destroy game, but 30 seconds have passed now.
First kill goes to Methods, and now we have the play towards that B site. Is it possible for a gunfight towards A as well? As you can see, they're just teetering in position. No one wants to give anything away yet. Mayhem's going to find another. Methods backs on up. And there we have it. Exotic's trying to level the field. He can't quite get it done just yet, so now it's a 3v4. Attach, still good to go. Exotic, if he can find another kill, he possibly has that Tempest. Attach trying to make their way towards the bomb site. The bomb's going to make his way over.
Oh my goodness.
All right, there it is. Pars finds another. That's the third you were talking about. The bomb's going to make its way there now. Big tags. Mayhem gets apathy, so now it's a 4v1. This round has fallen apart, but Exotic is still good to go. Tempest is very, very close. One more kill, a couple more points. He can concuss a player and maybe get it.
Yeah, I think that's it right now. 18 seconds, you just try and play for this Tempest. Or even crazier. I mean, do what you got to do, Exotic.
He might just be able to find... Oh, no. Methods is there. Guardian Angel.
No. Oh, my goodness. I had a flash then. It was just he was going to turn, slide, and pass one. The player behind the big rock at the back, or wherever it was, I'm sure would have just sat back and not allowed that final kill to come through. Credit to Exotic, though, for really kind of going for this. Ever so close to that Tempest, and suddenly I'm kind of getting flashbacks from what I said previously, you know, about how games can be so close and it can really change you. We've had a 4-point hard point. Now we're going to have a 1-round search and destroy. 2 teams that are in the struggle bus, shall we say, at the moment. And one looking to get out of it. Well, one will come out of it with a victory. Tempest, though, for Exotic.
That's the only glaring advantage we do see for Evil Geniuses as we go into this one. And that struggle bus, they may both be on it, but the stops have to come up soon. Someone's getting off. Someone's rung the bell. Here we go. It's round 11. Slow, uncharacteristically slow of both teams so far. Lab lockdown for UYU, EG. 2 towards A, 2 towards B, and Apathy just watching the cut through the middle, watching that lobby door. Mayhem still 200 points away from the streaks. I mean, there's the possibility for it. But they're both just sort of worrying about that play on the bomb. I like this from EG as well, because what we've seen them in the past, we've seen them hyper-aggressive, overextend past A, and try to find those plays towards, you know, the front door. Uh-oh, Paz, he's found a snipe. Interrupted that chain of thought.
It's where the Tempest potentially has to come out and really needs to connect. We see a lot of wolf packing. This sniper could be the one to finish the final blow. There's the Tempest. There's the grenade. There's the Tempest once again. He's got to finish it off. And now EG coming in. It's a 3v3. 25 seconds. The Tempest goes down and Mayhem, just like the hard point. A big triple. But this time, he's rewarded with the victory. But it's Mayhem again.
What have we just witnessed? Bloody pandemonium there on that bomb site. Parzelian had a bit of a struggle with the Paladin all series long, and what does he do? He hits an absolute beamer in the final moments of the round to give him the advantage, and with that, we see a nice round win for UYU. Tying up the series 1-1. Not what we expected to see, Momo, I must admit, but nonetheless, things looking up for both these teams. First hard point as close as they come. The search and destroy could not have been any tighter. And now we go into control.
My goodness, what a way to kind of kick things off today. Obviously, yes, Control coming up next, and again, we'll kind of outline that a little later, but that Search and Destroy, what a way to end things. We saw, obviously, the snipes from attack to start things off, the lack of snipes from Pazelian, and again, that Tempest, I really thought it was going to be the difference maker. When you have that kind of final round, you start to Wolfpack, stick to your teammates, and one connection from the Tempest could have been the end. However, simply wasn't. Play the game, that's who? Scuff play the game, should I say, is going to come to that final round.
We go. As you see the play develop, that snipe starts off from Parzelian. The Tempest starts to come through. Another peachy nade is going to force JCat back, and it's what we thought was going to be Pars, but you see that little Prophet player come around the corner. It's going to be Exotic. He finds one. The shots come through as he tags a second, and as you said, it could have come down to the difference maker, but Mayhem is the real difference maker. He was the mountain here as he charges forward. Parzelian's presence felt there. Royalty's going to clean up through lobby there, and that was brilliant work. He saw Zenny hand on head, kind of just like, oh man, that's the final round. And in the end, Royalty was going to be able to pick up the final pieces. That was your scuff play of the game. UYU Series 1-1.
And now we have a game in our hands. We thought, will we see that game 5, which we did yesterday for Genji and Optic Gaming, should I say. These two teams, obviously, like I said before, two teams that you're not like, wow, these are the best of the best, but a lot still to play for here. Obviously, your match bonus for every single game, a lot of money on the line. But either way, it's all tied up.
All tied up 1-1. The series has been incredibly close so far. Seconds decide the hard point and 1 or 2 kills in the search now, friends. The Control coming up next. Both teams looking to find a big win here in the Pro League. Find out who gets it after the break.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
Amp Game Fuel. Level up the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty World League. Evil Geniuses versus UYU, tied up in our very first game of the night. So far, so good. An extremely close series. If you've just joined us, if you're a die-hard COD fan, if you're just browsing the homepage of Twitch, or if you've been thrown here by a loved one, welcome. Miles and Mom are going to be bringing you this next matchup, Control, here in our series, and it's been a frequency sandwich with a hefty dose of Arsenal right there in the middle. Now the Control, this is where things are going to get fun. Can Evil Geniuses find their very first Control round win with this roster, or will it continue to be tears?
Oh, well, one way not to go into a Control, or a game mode which you pretty much are not great at, shall we say politely, is to lose a round 11. So again, they've got to have a lot of self-confidence kind of to put that one behind them, go forward, push on through. We're going to see EG actually on the offense here for round number 1. First round, or first wave, should I say, has been denied this time for UYU. And UYU, again, on the flip side of things, they've got to be really confident after a big win like that. Fueling themselves is this man, Mayhem. He's finished both maps with a big triple. One was rewarded with a win, one wasn't. But it's all tied up here. 21-25, live advantage to UYU.
Yep, so far, they're making their way forward. EG unable to really make the break here on the offense. App trying to work the outside of the gun. They've managed to slip 2 players over that 50-yard line as they make their way halfway, about to hit window. And the remainder of EG have got to make their way in now as they can, and it's not going to happen. Zaptius and Parzelian locking it down, attached through the vents, though. Is that going to be the straw that breaks this camel's back as they make their way in? There's the contest with 21 seconds to go. Attaches through. Mayhem blows himself up. Bit of a gift. Are they on point? Is it going to happen? Here comes a double cap almost. If the Phantoms can get it done, he can't. He's going to get exercised there on the B point. Exotic keeping the dream alive. Cap towards A slowly happens. 21 seconds to go. Can they make this work?
Well, time has been paused for now. A zone looks like it's going to be given up. No one really pushing it now. Number 8 closest to it, that being relative. I think he's more trying to hold that lobby. And the problem being here, everyone's starting to fall. EG really taking control. They were down by about 5, and now they lead by 5 here on the live count. A is so close to being done. We are going to see that now extended to 1 minute and 20 seconds here to get B. Lightning strikes could be saved here. 3 do go get down. This is perfect for EG. And for something they've not won a round in. They've been looking pretty strong on the second half of this round. A minute and 20 still to go, though. UYU down to just 6 lives in this zone. It's going up very, very quick. Look at the players involved. It's going to be every single one of them. Lightning Strike, Hellstorm acquired. That is a round you've just got to applaud.
Got to give it to them. They've done it. They've won the round. Can they win 2 more? And win the map? Solid round, though. All it took was 1 decent play to break on through, and they managed to get A, and then it was just a solid hold. UYU not willing to concede any more points, not willing to feed the specialists, or now the streaks that Attach has. I wonder if they managed to pick up on that. I mean, a calculated guess will tell them that much, and great work from him, that cluster down backstairs. Attach has had a great series.
So far, so good, but it's all tied up here, and big win in round number 1. As I said, kind of going into this, very annoying to lose that round 11 for them, I'm sure. But they've won their first round. They've got themselves a set of streaks. It wasn't really that difficult, I want to say. But we've seen him, you know, both game modes already. One team start hot and the other come fighting back. So can't rule anyone out of this right now.
Second round we go. EG on defense. And so far, Parzelian's going to open this up with a nice 2-piece. As he surges forward, Exotic and Vents up top. 135 away from streaks. One more gets it even closer. Now he's at 35.
He just keeps regenning.
Oh, but that's enough to know. 41. Just can't die yet. He's waiting for his teammates to get there on point. Again, they managed to keep everyone from UYU off. And can Exotic get these streaks? Can he find something over the top in a 1v1 that he wishes he won? There we go. It is all dead. But nonetheless, EG have really kept UYU clean off the points.
40 seconds coming up. UYU, they have 1 life lead here, but they're actually splitting up here. 3 going right round the back, 2 just holding out by that B lane. Cap's going to take down 1 of the 2. And again, advantage to EG.
Clock's ticking, though. You make these big, bold plays, but you have to do them fast. This is very slow. They're going to get 1 chance to break A. They're going to have 1 chance to cap it, because after this, the time's just not on their side. Phantoms and EG have retreated back to the lobby. They've made this play nearly impossible. And you know what? This could be a fantastic hold for EG. 15 seconds, no one's nearby. It's going to start to get desperate for UYU, as their control game has been yet to find in round 2. This is it. They're going to just let this one go. No one's on point. No one's going to be able to make the play. Here comes number 7 and number 6 through the window. Can they get on the point? 2 seconds! There's the contest.
1.4 to go. It's a must hold. And it's around that. If they can take A zone, they can go on and win. But EG are looking to close things down, get them off that point. Spawn trap was going to be on the cards here, but it's going to be denied. Now coming in from behind, Apathy finds a double. Exotic, sorry, is that player to get him off the hard point. The double doesn't come in, but EG, they close things down, and all they had to do was just get them off that zone just for 1.4 seconds.
Got to give it to EG and a great defense. Seems they've had a couple of discussions about control to make this a lot better than it was in London. But I will say again, you have to UYU's offense. Like when they attack the point, they just take forever to get there. They take forever to reach around the back, and in that time, it's like everyone in EG, they rotate like Phantoms and JCap back on up to lobby. They make that play almost impossible. Whereas if you manage to break lobby and hit them when they're all sitting there on lab on the point, it's possible. It's possible to get the trades and the kills, but they just took forever to do it.
Sometimes time and timings are very, very important. And EG now, with the 2 streaks, with pretty much 3 specialists here, are looking to end things very, very quickly. Royalty, not the best of starts. We're in round 3 and he's got 1 kill to his name. However, 3 kills come in for UYU. This is pretty much how round number 1 started as well. Dominance coming in from UYU as the first wave is done, dusted, and now they're starting to push on up. EG, though, 1 round means a control win.
Go from rags to riches after not winning a round to winning potentially 3 straight. Still, we'll see what they can do on the offense. Once again, Mayhem's taken care of on the outside. That means Methods is up next on the window, and they're not going to be hitting the flank just yet. The reshuffle now for UYU as they buckle up for the attack on A. They start to try to fortify that position, and it's not looking working out. It's not happening. Phantoms with a tidy kill there on the Methods, and that keeps the window in control for EG rather. Attaching from behind, perfect timing. He's going to find one, he's going to find the second. It's absolutely pristine. 25 seconds on the clock now. The cap comes through. Is it happening again? It is going to be a War Machine now. He's got streaks as well. Attach.
It's investment time, and they're throwing everything at it. War Machine to maybe pick up some kills or entry kills, trying to stop them coming in. Royalty does not check his corners there. And again, very disappointing round here. 2 in 10 for Royalty. War Machine does find 1, but 1 is all it will find. 25 seconds as it is paused right now. EG looking to take the zone and just extend that time. That's the main goal. That's the only goal right now. And I think they're going to do it just like that. 1:25. What have they got to invest, though? Double streaks? I think so.
No problem. Attach is going to use that Hellstorm to clear out B. They know a player's in vents. They know the players are on back stairs. They've just waltzed in. They've taken A just as they did in their first defensive round win. And now we're seeing the same thing. Attach on the back end. Lightning Strike still to go with. Here it comes. EG trying to lock down the lobby. They can't get it done. Apathy's up next. Slams perfect timing. And again, this is textbook from EG. They're playing this flawlessly so far. Whether it's attacking, whether it's defending, whether it's specialists, whether it's streaks, it's just been golden. And with that, Evil Geniuses will take the lead in the series 2-1. They managed to turn that controller game right around since London.
They certainly have. My goodness, what a way to do it. EG coming out very, very hot. Round number 3, probably their best. But again, they had a lot to work with. War Machine, Slam, the streaks as well. But when you win 2 on the back, you're rewarded with this. We saw obviously a very, very, very sloppy couple rounds there from Royalty. I don't even know what he finished with, but near the end, he had 2 kills to his name. And again, someone who really wants to impress and has that hunger to do so. But that was not the game mode and map combination for him. Of course, we will be going to a 4th map, that now being in the lead of EG, and we're going to be looking at each other and thinking, we should have closed this one out 3-0.
It's funny to think that Mayhem makes that incredible 3-piece in the first hard point, and then they kind of just go on a full part of that one. The Search and Destroy comes down to around 11, and that control was just kind of blitzed over. Right now, you've got to be kicking yourself if you're UYU. They were in a strong position to start this one off, and now kind of looking at dire straits. Can we see EG get a nice big win here, find that 3rd win in the Pro League, potentially in terms of this series, because it has been a little bit rough. Nonetheless, friends, here's the final few moments of that control game, and again, Attach. He's been lights out all series long. The hard point was great. The Search and Destroy was blistering, and this one was an absolute showcase in itself. Streaks, big plays, lovely bit of work from everyone on EG, but Attach was my man.
Yeah, Attach, obviously, he only finds the one with the War Machine. EG then continue to control over A. No one can break on in, even things like that. They're Mayhem just not able to even get close. All this time just being pushed back, and they have to rotate. The problem is, at this point, it is the streaks, and it's not necessarily the kills that they pick up, but it forces them into the vents. It forces them in positions where now EG can just sit, pre-aim, have a lot of fun, and Lightning Strike comes through, Hellstorm denies everything that UYU throws at them. EG come out with the only convincing win of the series so far. However, Arsenal, and some more Arsenal. We're going to another one for Hardpoint. Are we going to see that back and forth? Are we going to see the 3-1 victory? EG will want to close this one out. They'll be a bit frustrated not to have picked up the 3-0, especially UYU. Got to talk about yesterday. They, unfortunately for them, took a 3-0 loss yesterday. This could have been the exact same, but it clutched up in round 11, and now they're going back to Hardpoint, where we know already how close it can be between these two teams.
Is it going to be this way on Arsenal, though, as we get to the final end of this trilogy? Straight to the first point we go, and again, struggles for a few players here. We'll see if EG can continue the aggression, continue the momentum they picked up from that big win in the control. Royalty's going to try to slow that down as best as he possibly can. Nice bit of work, finds 2, almost gets the 3rd until Phantoms puts him to bed. So, UYU with the opening seconds. A quick reshuffle now for EG, back off spawn. They're going to make their way up to the top end of the guns. And Mayhem's waiting for him. He's going to find an easy one on JCap there. Very, very quick, very cheeky hit and run. And the other side of the map, Royalty's trying to lock down front door there of lobby, and you can see Mayhem trying to pick up the pieces. Now, UYU with a solid start to this one. They can keep holding this position. That's a solid 15 seconds to their name, but the attach play actually made his way right on through the mid-map. So has Exotic. Vents now for attach. That's going to be solid work from EG to break there. The final 15 will be theirs.
Well, the rotation will certainly be UYU's. However, 2 players going down on the rotation. That is not what you want to see here. And EG, they're actually going to take 2, 3, make it 4. Look at number 3 as well. Perfectly positioned for spawns. It's none other than the legendary JCap there, just thinking not only 1 or 2, maybe 3 steps ahead here. And he's going to be faced by a lot of UYU. He's going to be calling for that help. The free fire is going to come in, not going to find anything for it. But EG still have that hard point, and now they're going to be pushed, pinched, and maybe shut down here. But EG there, still picking up important kills.
Yeah, the play towards top guns is barely going to happen because Phantoms gets a lovely spawn. Still, they're keeping the gunfights right at the front in the back end of the crane there. So the guns are going to be the top position to hold. Phantom's still on point, and if not for Phantom spawning, behind that player of UYU trying to hit the flank, this would have been a bit uglier. But now EG, they're going to lock this one down. More time goes their way. They get the final 15 seconds of the first hard point. They get the bulk of the second. Over towards the 3rd we go. UYU gearing up for this one. Attach. What can he find? Can he get a cheeky pick here? Again, you called it. The break from EG in that last hard point was absolutely flawless. And now we flip the final 5 seconds, attaching on the back. They're all up over the statue. Big shots. Exotic and Phantoms are going to put Parzelian down. And here comes the play. They're trying to make their way on. The spawns on the far right-hand side of the screen, though. Number 9. That's going to be a bit of a dagger in the back end. If EG don't get the turn quickly, they can't contest. They don't want to fight a war on 2 fronts. They want to make this a 1-lane game. How are they going to hold this?
Well, streaks have been acquired here from Phantoms, a player which I said you've got to keep your eyes out for, someone who will flourish in a team like EG. Whether, I think he's going to, I was going to say he's going to save these for the next hard point here, but he's actually invested the Hellstorm just to kind of give his team a little bit more time. He's going to find himself 1, and I think he tried to find that second tag. Doesn't connect with it, though. The contest will go through, and this is a big hard point coming up next. And we've got to see how the rotation go down. I'd like to see EG rotate a little earlier, purely because they have that lead, but Royalty's already there, waiting on in the window. Big plays from him. Could give a lot of advantage to UYU, but he's actually just jumped out straight into the hands of JCap. Comes out on top. He's having to get back on in, though, and he's going to have to shut down EG.
Go straight up the guns. Mayhem's nice 2-piece to slow the push down for EG. Royalty's going to continue this run. Comes on through. Solid hold from UYU off the rip there. 2 kills back-to-back there. That was for Parzelian as he's gone. Mayhem's on a 3 streak as well. Royalty's finding 2. Mayhem knocking down window. Phantom's going to get it done with a lightning strike. Lovely work. Sadly, the doors were open, and there we go. Methods straight into that position. The contest is through, but this has been decent hold now from UYU. Can they get another wave of kills? Can they hold on? No, they cannot. EG now will get the point. 30 seconds remain.
Wasn't a bad hold, but again, we've seen teams very consistently kind of hold 40, 50 seconds on this. This has actually been broke by EG. Credit to them. With 30 seconds left, they can kind of split the bill on this hard point if they win these next couple of gunfights, which they are doing. It's attached to find 2, and of course JCap as well. You hate to see it, but a lot of team kills coming in for EG. That's definitely going to be something that they need to work on hard point. And again, looking at the bigger picture, looking at the rotations now here, EG, they have that as well. 25-point lead, make it 30 points now, as the first rotation is down to that last hard point.
Here we go. Rotation's done. Dust has gone the way of EG. Cap's going to win the gunfights on the other side of the map. He's going to make sure the open street's safe. Meanwhile, Exotic's going to clear up food, and the back end is going to be cleaned up by Attach and Apathy. That's wonderful work from everyone on EG. They've won all the gunfights they needed to. Now Parzellion's the last player alive on the back end. Through food they come. JCap again in position. This has been another great hold from EG. They're not doing anything wrong. Phantoms is about to run into 3 members of EG on the outside. But again, locking down food, not letting UYU make the play. And that information is going to be relayed out. Oh, Royalty's going to get the kills. So the openers, they're going to go the way of UYU. That's going to get them a little bit closer to the point. Methods is going to win the gunfights for food. So now they're in your grill. EG now, they bring the fight to the doorstep. Hardpoint goes the way of UYU, but for the final 10 seconds, again, it just seems to take too long.
Yeah, it might do, but I will say the final 10 of this hardpoint does usually mean that you get the kind of initial hardpoint, obviously, coming up on second rotation. So EG are going to have to be fighting through this one, but they do certainly have that lead, 60 points. Very familiar territory here for EG, similar to map number 1. Methods, though, shuts down Attach, and UYU, they have a good hold on this middle hardpoint. However, when you're all bunched up together, it can all start to fall apart. Exotic, JCap, and Apathy. And Attach, as we wait for that 4th kill to come in. They shut things down. It seems effortless. It seems easy, and it's just simple, those 1v1s. But also, it's the positions that they're putting themselves in, and Apathy with not 1, not 2, but 3 will shut things down for UYU. Things starting to click here for EG.
Yeah, perfect break. Window, lobby, and food. And then they get the kills on spawn, and again, this should be a solid chunk for EG. Next hardpoint's looking to be theirs as well. The lightning strike comes through, the total expenditure from everyone there on UYU, and they're all dry pockets now, empty. Oh, wow. Attach and Methods trade out. War Machine's been put to bed. Exotic now trying to find these players with the Tempest on point. Next hardpoint's going to be all EG's. 3 players chained up. Not able to capitalize just yet. JCap on the flank. JCap on the flank finds the first shots are through. Mayhem just sits on him. Quick bit of vengeance there from Exotic, and now we have the control once again for EG. But can they get these players off? Wait a minute, just manages to slip through. TAC-5 comes through. Quick hip fire from Exotic there. And he's lining up for another one, but where are the guns of EG to get these players off the point? I mean, they're flooding it hard and fast from UYU, but you're not over yet.
Credit to the Tempest there. That was beautifully done. It was very, very strong from Exotic. He was hitting shots, which maybe a lot might not. Vision Pulse is ready for Phantoms. I think he's probably going to save this till that next hardpoint. Doesn't really need it just yet here, but still making kills, doing a lot of damage for his squad. And again, a player which I told you, you've got to keep your eye out for. 5-kill streak. He plays this slower role. He plays that kind of solid role, but 20-8. And now a lightning strike as well as the Vision Pulse. Does he get the Hellstorm? Absolutely. Of course he does. It's a 100-point lead here nearly for Evil Geniuses, and they're looking to end this here on rotation. Another team kill there. You've got to really stop this. EG just making it harder for themselves.
Well, Hellstorm comes through. They don't really get to capitalize on it too much, but Exotic finds 2, locks the point, guns are up. That lightning strike coming through to provide the ordnance desperately needed. It was a little danger close, but Phantoms once again has been an absolute star for EG. In both the hard points, in the search, 24-8 currently on a 9-kill streak. Exceptional work from him as he keeps it going with a Sorg now. He's a man who can do it all right now. Mayhem, he's next. He's going to get the kill finally, but he still has that Vision Pulse. 25 points for the win now for EG, and that's not just the win here, it's the win in the series.
Certainly will be. 2-1 as it currently stands, and a dominating end is EG now. And again, Vision Pulse should be used pretty much on this rotation with only 5 seconds left. EG just 10 points away now from closing things out, and one big break will end it. UYU have to play the perfect game mode, the perfect game. Royalty has that slam. Mayhem has that War Machine, but is it gonna be enough? It just doesn't look like it.
Here we go, Royalty slams up. He finds 2, and that's going to hold the line for the time being. Phantoms trying to make the play in the back with JCap, and there's that Vision Pulse comes through. Zaptius also pulls out the Tempest. Lightning strike for Exotic as well. We're all going in, but that's going to be it. It's done. They try to throw everything they possibly had at them in the end there. The kitchen sink comes through, but EG stand firm. 3-1 in the series. A sorely needed victory for them, especially after the troubles in London, especially after the troubles they've had in the Pro League. And is this a chance for a fresh start for EG?
I really think it could be. I think map 1 should have been more convincing, if I'm being honest. If it wasn't for the slam of UYU to kind of push it and get that kind of comeback rolling, map 1, map 3, and map 4, all the respawns for me would have been dominant for EG. Search and Destroy very, very close. great kind of fought battle. UYU came out on top for that one, but EG, it seems like, the better team won today in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. The control game was desperate of that. It was the biggest and most evident.
And that hard point as well.
The hard point as well. The second hard point, definitely. The first hard point was a little bit hit and miss. They did throw a 100-point lead, and they almost lost it in the end to a crazy play. But nonetheless, the control game has managed to turn around from going 0-12 in rounds in London. They managed to find themselves in a big win here. And, well, that's going to be it from Miles and Moment. Katie, take it away.
Thank you so very much. Congratulations to EG on winning control.
Yeah, especially in a dominant fashion that they did. Pretty sure on the side of UYU, Royalty just didn't have a good game. He went 2-12, I'm pretty sure.
Not a good game.
That's a horrible game. That's unbelievable. And on the side of EG, it was definitely a bounce back. Coming into this series right here, you were 0-12 and round counts in control, and then you just wiped the floor with them 3-0. So you got to be feeling good after that one.
There was a crucial moment in the game one. That game one, Mayhem picked up the three-piece, basically put his team in a spot to win the round, and then instantly pushed the pipes where he should have just held. He should have just held. Like, he made the play to win the game. Huge play, hold, work with your team, and then after that, Zap just got caught underneath in the pipes. They both just died in individual fights. That huge play was just instantly nullified. They did not give themselves a chance to win the map after that. It's just tough to see because after that, they just didn't put up any type of fight in those respawns.
Yeah, and let's not forget the huge play Attach made as well at the very end on that first map. I think if Attach doesn't get in there and get that two-piece and buy that much time, I think that UYU just sets up and closes the game out as well. So there was a lot of stuff going on in that very last hill, but I think if Mayhem just holds that and win the game, and this is a completely different story that we're telling right now, but man, gets a three-piece actually and just slows down. But he made up for it in that round 11 on the next map. That was a huge play with the sniper there.
When I think we look at this too, we've talked about kind of UYU's mediocrity a little bit, but Evil Geniuses, now that they've mixed things up, they have a new roster. We wanted to see more wins out of them, and it's been a little bit, but now, Study, they do indeed have one to start off this section of Pro League. It's got to be fun.
I thought you were going to say they have one in May to start off, their month thing.
They could maybe even get two.
Now they have May, so they might be able to get a couple more, because this team is definitely looking like they've improved a lot. Like I said, they were 0-12 in control, and they just absolutely wiped the floor with them in that series. So they have to be feeling really good.
We should talk about Phantoms. Talking about him a little bit. He played amazing, especially in the hard points, right? Like that first map, he was using that can, just lighting it up. He was like 26-16 at a point. He was getting so many kills on rotation and even in the back. And he plays with discipline. We've seen him on that map before as well, playing great. And I just want to kind of tip my hat to him a little bit, learning a little bit more about this guy after, he does win that open event in Fort Worth, and he's continuously improving.
All those guys that are on FaZe Black seem to, that's why they won that open bracket. They are showing why they did. Yep. Those guys were all performed really well. Phantoms did that just now. And we're going to see if the rest of them, I think Gravity's the only one that's not on the starting spot in the roster, but maybe he gets his chance too, because all these other guys are performing.
Yeah, well, we will have to see as we move things along here at our second day of a Pro League. Again, we see Evil Geniuses showing a little bit more life, getting their first control win, taking it 3-1 over UYU, who has yet to get a win here so far. But we will be right back to talk about Gen G versus Midnight.